All right, so we're moving into our next topic. We did cover special segments in triangles with just numbers and algebra, and we're now moving into something called triangle inequalities. So we have something called the triangle inequality theorem. So this states if you take the length of the small side of the triangle, add it to the middle or the medium side, it has to be greater than that largest or longest side in order for those side lengths to make a triangle. So if this isn't true, if you add those two small sides together and they're not greater than that third larger side, then the side lengths don't make a triangle. We're going to do some examples so you can see what this looks like. So the examples, the question is, can a triangle have sides with these lengths? And the first one we're going to talk about are the numbers 3, 7, and 8. So the first thing I want you to do, especially when this is new, is label them as small, medium, and long or large. So I know 3 is my smallest number, so I'm going to label it with an S. 7 is that middle or medium, so I'm going to label it with an M. And then 8 is the biggest or the largest, so I'm going to label it with an L. Remember, I told you we have to take that small side, add it to the medium side, and it has to be greater than the longest or the largest side. So since I've already labeled those numbers, I'm going to fill in these letters with what I labeled. So the S, the smallest side, was 3, plus our middle side, which is 7, is greater than our largest side is 8. This is just filling it in. Now I need to know, what is 3 plus 7? That gives me 10. I still have the greater sign and then 8. So once you have a number on each side, you ask yourself, is 10 greater than 8? In this case, it is. This is true. So that means that yes, these three numbers could make a triangle. So this next one, we have 5, 15, and 10. So same thing, I'm going to label them with the S, M, and L. So S for 5, our middle is 10, and the largest one is 15. Remember, we take our two smallest, so the small and the medium. So 5 plus 10, and then you have greater than our largest, which is 15. 5 plus 10 does give me 15. So I have a number on the left, I have a number on the right. I now ask myself, is 15 greater than 15? This is not true. This is false. So this means that no, these three numbers, these three side lengths would not make a triangle. It has to be greater than, not equal to. So see, we have 7.2, 4.3, 11.4. Again, I'm going to label them. My smallest side is 4.3. My middle side is 7.2. And my longest or largest side is 11.4. Now remember, we take that small and the medium. So 4.3 plus 7.2 greater than 11.4. This is just setting it up. I need to add 4.3 plus 7.2. That gives me 11.5 is greater than 11.4. Once you've got the number on each side, you ask yourself, is 11.5 greater than 11.4? It is, so yes, these side lengths could make a triangle. And the last example we're going to do is example D. You have 90, 55, and 24. My smallest is 24, my middle is 55, and the large is 90. I take my two smallest, so 24 plus 55 greater than 90. I add 24 and 55 together, and that gives me 79 is greater than 90. 79 is not greater than 90, so this is no, these side lengths could not make a triangle. We're now going to move into something called range of a third side. So what this is that we're going to give you two sides. We're going to say, these are the two side lengths you know. I want you to tell me where that third side length would fall between. So you have to find what two numbers the third side will be between. So the first example is to find the range of the third side for the following. So example A, I give you two side lengths, 4 and 7. So I'm wanting to know what two numbers that third side could fall between. What you're going to do here is you're just going to add and subtract the numbers, and that gives you the values. So I always write the biggest number first. So I have 7. I'm going to add the second, plus 4. I'm going to do the same thing, but with subtraction. I'm now going to do 7 minus 4. I always write the biggest number first to avoid any negatives. So the first one, 7 plus 4 gives us 11. And 7 minus 4 gives us 3. So you're almost done. You do have to write it as an inequality, though. So we're going to write the lower number first. 3 is our smallest, so it goes on the left. We're going to write our bigger number on the right, 11. We don't know what that third side is, so we're going to call it x. And then what you're going to do is you're going to write less than signs between the number and the variable and the number. So this reads as 3 is less than x, which is less than 11. All this says, though, is that third side falls somewhere between the numbers 3 and 11. That's your answer. You're done. So you're going to add the numbers together, you're going to subtract them, and then write it as an inequality. So for B, I want you to find the range of the third side, given that the two sides are 5 and 6. So remember, we write our biggest number first. We have 6. We're going to add 5 to it. Then we have 6, and we're going to subtract 5 from it. So 6 plus 5 gives us 11, and 6 minus 5 gives us 1. Remember, we write the smallest number first. So 1. You write the bigger number on the right side, 11. Between them comes x, and then you just write 2 less than signs. This is exactly what your range is going to look like. Sometimes we're going to ask you which of the following falls in that range, but we'll get to that later. So your last example of this kind does have decimals in it, but it doesn't change anything. Write the bigger number first, and we're going to add the smaller. Then you're going to write the bigger number again and subtract the smaller. When I do 12.6 plus 4.2, it leaves me with 16.8. And when I do 12.6 minus 4.2, it gives me 8.4. So again, I'm going to write the smaller value on the left side, the bigger one on the right. X comes in the middle, and then we write 2 less than signs. The next topic we're going to talk about is ordering sides. What that means is putting them in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. The thing is, in these scenarios, we only give you the angle measures to do that. So you need to know that the largest angle is across from the longest side, and then that means that the smallest angle is across from the shortest side. So this first example I'm asking you to do, I want you to order the sides from longest to shortest. Remember, when we label a side, we have to use 2 letters for that, and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do here. So remember, I told you that the largest angle is across from the longest side, and the smallest angle is across from the shortest side. In the example, I'm asking you to go from longest to shortest, which means we're going to start with the longest side. We're going to go to that middle or medium length side, and then end at the shortest or smallest side. So what I'm going to actually do is label my angles based on small, medium, and large. My smallest angle is 34 degrees, so that's here at angle B. I'm going to draw the arrow across, and that tells me that the smallest angle is across from the smallest side, and the smallest side here is going to be AC. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my middle angle, which happens to be 51 degrees. I'm going to draw that arrow across, and that tells me my middle or medium side is BC or CB. And then finally what I have left is the longest or largest angle, which is 95. Draw my arrow across, and that tells me that my longest side is AB. So I've just labeled my sides in order from longest to shortest. The longest is AB, the middle is BC, and then finally our smallest or shortest side is AC. So in this second example, I have triangle MON, and I'm asking you to list the sides in order from shortest to longest. So I'm going to start with my smallest angle, which is 45 degrees, so I'm labeling that with an S. I draw an arrow across to that side. Since I am going shortest to longest, I want to start with the shortest, go to the middle, and then the longest side. So the shortest or the smallest angle is 45. I draw that arrow across, and that tells me my shortest side is MN. I'm now going to go to my middle or medium angle, which is 60 degrees. Draw the arrow across. Figure out that it is side ON, so I know that's the second side. And then finally, I have my largest angle, which is 75 degrees. Draw my arrow across, and that points me to side OM. So in order from shortest to longest, my sides are MN, ON, and then OM. Remember, on the sides, you can label them the other way. So I could have called this side NM. I could have called the second one NO. And the third one could have been MO. Either way works. They mean the same thing. We're now going to be ordering the angles, which is the opposite of what we just did. We're going to be using the sides. So I'm going to give you side links and ask you to put the angles in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. It follows the same principles though. So you do need to know that the longest side is across from the largest angle and the shortest side is across from the smallest angle. We talked about this previously, but I reworded it so that you knew what went with what for this section. So here I'm asking you to order the angles from smallest to largest. So we're going to do the same exact stuff we've done. We're going from smallest to largest, so we start with small, then go to medium or middle, and end up at large. So we're going to look at the side lengths first and label those. My smallest side here is 10, so I'm going to label that with an S. And I'm going to draw that arrow across to the angle across from the side. That tells me that my smallest angle here would be angle C. Now my middle or medium side is 13, so I'm going to label that with an M. I'm going to draw my arrow across to the angle, and that tells me my middle or medium size angle is angle A. And then I'm finally going to do that with my largest side, which is 14. I'm going to label it with an L, draw the arrow across to its angle, and that tells me my largest angle in this triangle is angle B. So the order of the angles from smallest to largest of this triangle, we go from angle C as the smallest, angle A, and then it ends with angle B as the largest. So this last example, I'm asking you to order the angles from largest to smallest. So we're going to start off with the largest angle, then go to the middle or medium, and finally end at the smallest angle. So when I look here at my triangle, I need to look for the largest angle first. So I look for the largest side, which is 23. I'm going to label it with an L. I draw my arrow across. That tells me that angle R is going to be my largest angle. I'm going to do the same thing for the medium or middle angle. I need to find the middle or medium side, which is 21. I label it with an M. I draw my arrow across. That leads me to angle T. So I go from angle R to angle T. And finally, my smallest side is 18. Label it with an S. Draw the arrow across. And I know my smallest angle is angle S. So if I order the angles from largest to smallest, I go from angle R to angle T, finally to angle S. So remember, you need to make sure you copy down these notes. There will be a note check that will be a minor grade. I'll tell you when that is and when you can submit them. Make sure you are doing the practice problems and submitting them as a PDF. I only accept PDFs. And if you have any questions or need any help, make sure you fill out the Google form for me to get on a live session with you.